One Year, One Outfit challenge really stems from the founding of the Fibre Shed project. And the original Fibre Shed formed in California about 15, 20 years ago by a woman named Rebecca Burgess. And her goal was to wear clothing for a whole year that had been grown within 150 miles of her home in Northern California. And that experience for her is what ignited this international Fibre Shed movement and this desire to connect people with the source of their clothing. Any resources that were grown, manufactured, produced, and dyed within a 200-mile radius of the Pembina River. We have a lot of protein-based fibers in our region, so lots of wool and alpaca and mohair. And then finally, skins and hides. So anything that has been harvested from an animal and then tanned and then sewn into, clothing or accessories. When we look at the fast fashion industry, and that is where most of our clothing comes from. We can go to Superstore and buy a $5 t-shirt or Old Navy and buy a $6 dress. And that does not reflect the true cost of this clothing that we're consuming. Let alone the labor that goes into growing those textiles. So the wool or the cotton or the linen, and then the labor of actually sewing it and manufacturing it, and then the shipping costs. And then we buy a $5 shirt, and that doesn't truly reflect the time and energy and resources that went into the shirt. So this project is a way to step back and say, look at all the resources, energy, time, money that goes into producing an item of clothing. How can we value that clothing more? And how can we invest in clothing that we want to use for a very long time? So it's really slowing down that conversation and creating some mindfulness around the clothing that we consume, and recognizing that ultimately clothing is an agricultural product. And we are disconnected from it, but we need to be brought back.